Welcome back then, guys, and as you can see, we have continued that excellent form that we had going from the last episode. We will go over the results in just a minute, but in the build-up to today's game, the quarter-final of the Cup against Stoke, you can see we are favourites for this now due to our recent form. Stoke are quite inconsistent, and if you look just here, Man United are actually knocked out of the competition, so West Ham and Bolton would be the two of the teams in the semi-finals, and then the other team would be between Man City and Swansea. So if we look at our schedule, and since we left off from the last game against Watford, where we won against Everton and then drew against Watford, we had quite a convincing 2-0 win against Leicester. Solomon Rondon with a 65th minute goal, and Moussa Marega with a 78th minute goal. Solomon Rondon in really, really good form at the moment. Dembele was injured in this match. I think he's out for 3 weeks, I think. So he hasn't played since then. As you can see, very thrilling game then against Swansea. We did go 2-0 up within 16 minutes. Another thing that we're bad at doing is conceding goals. Tammy Abraham did then score his first goal for Swansea this season, followed by Jake Livermore's strike, and then Wilfred Bonney scored in the 67th and 80th minute to put us at 3-3 going into the last 10 minutes, and Craig Dawson came up again to score his second goal of the game and give us the lead. And then if we go into the game against Crystal Palace away, again, Rondon with a 9-minute goal, Baselli stripped back straight away 11 minutes, and then 53 minutes Rondon scored again, good form, and then he got injured right at the end of the game. But Palace actually got back into the game in the 87th minute, Patrick Ebert, and luckily for us, Oliver Burke was on hand to tuck in a 93rd minute winner, which means going into this game today, we're actually 9th in the Premier League table. Our goal difference is pretty bad. I think there was a stat that we had the worst defence in the league at one point. I'm not sure if that's still the same, but it does mean that we are a point or 2 points away from those European qualification spots now, and 4 points adrift, putting us in the top half of the table. It's looking like we are going to reach our target of getting a top half finish, and with the quarterfinal coming up against Stoke whilst we're in good form, and Manchester United being knocked out already, it does mean there's a chance that we could go on to have a good cup run here as well. The confirmed lineup for today's game then. Starting in goal, number 1, Ben Foster. The back four lines up as such: Neom, Evans, Dawson and Gibbs. In midfield we have Matt Phillips on the right, Chadley on the left, and Livermore and Jakob in the centre. And up top, we have Moussa Marega and Jay Rodriguez. Substitutes for today's game then: Myhill, Brennett, Bielik and Burke. Greg, Guilherme and Higazi make up the rest of the bench. As you can see then, a few changes for the lineup to today's match. With Rondon and Dembele being injured, it means we have to start Marega as a target man, with Rodriguez playing off him as an advanced forward. Phillips stays out on that right side, been playing well of late, and Kieran Gibbs slots in for Brennett at the left back due to his suspension ending. The bench then, as you can see, not really got a striker on the bench. However, Guilherme can play up front if needed to be, and Chadley can also sort of fill into that role. I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Stoke haven't got the strongest team out. However, they also haven't got a bad team out. So with them being 5th in the league, it does mean that we are under pressure today to try and win this game, especially with the good form that are in of late. I'm going to say that I fully expect them to keep this good form going, and we'll see what the outcome of this match will be. Not a great start there, kicking the ball against Jakob's heels, but we are coming forward, give the ball away, and it looks like I mean, it's a fairly even game in the middle so far. It looks like Stoke are dominating possession in some areas of the match. But that's okay. We are adaptable, I should say. I'm not sure here. As Stoke come forward, Jeff on that right side plays it out to Joe Allen. Joe Allen, and that's not what we wanted. It does mean we're going to have to change some things up a little bit. We're going to go more direct, pump the ball into the box, exploit the flanks, and hit those early crosses. Seems to normally work for us. Any time that we aren't in a sort of good run at the moment, when we come into a game and we have a bad start, this sort of gets us a hold on the game and allows us to do a little bit more. However, I'm just going to switch to attacking because it doesn't seem like we're doing much attacking at the moment. I think we're sorely missing Rondon up front today, and that could be our downfall, really, not having two sort of starting strikers up front. We're going to have to get aggressive. I want to see much better in the second half. We just look at the updates. Man City against Swansea is 0-0. So there's a chance that City will actually not go through if it stays that way. However, Yaya Toure's just scored in the 43rd minute, which means at the moment they are going through. And we're not really doing that much, I must say. What to do is the question. We're going to have to look at this a little bit differently now. There's possible players that can play up front. Oliver Burke as a target man. Not really what we want. Can we have a false 9? Anyone can play false 9? Jay Rodriguez, Oliver Burke. Advance forward. Musa Marega, Oliver Burke. Quartista. Nope. Right, this is going to be a bit of a tough one. Question is, do we bring Burke on up front as maybe a gonna have to stick with that target man, I think. We're going to bring Burke out onto this right wing. And we need to... We're going to close down a little bit more. Run at the defence. Shoot on sight. Get stuck in. Right, no, I'm going to go for overload. We're going to play a little bit higher. Risk it. But hopefully it pays off. I think that's the only sort of option we have right now. We don't seem to be turning up to this game, and this could end our 5-game unbeaten run here. And nothing is happening. Nothing at all is happening for us, which means Wilhelm is going to come on. Oliver Burke is going to play as a target man, I suppose. And Wilhelm is going to play as that inside forward on support as well. It's really not sort of working out for us. Stoke have a highlight here. Dawson's got the ball though to Gibbs, Livermore, to Chadley up to Burke. Burke playing nicely as that target man. Livermore out to Rodriguez. Ball's in, no one's there, but we get the ball back again. Livermore, Rodriguez, Guilherme's there. Stoke now looking to counter. Give the ball away. Win it back. Livermore to Burke. Guilherme. Nice ball inside to Livermore. Livermore with a shot. A bit ambitious. Especially considering the position we're in. But, I mean, it's not too bad. We are starting to create a few more chances now, as Chadley puts an awful cross into the box. Gibbs wins the ball back to Jakob. Jakob's on the edge. Oliver Burke's there, and Oliver Burke scores. Well, the question now is, where do we go to? Do we go to counter? Do we go to standard? I think we go to counter. I think we need to make sure that we don't concede towards the end of the game, and we can try and take it to half time, full time. No, don't score. Ian wins the ball back. Wilhelm is there, lost the ball. Stephen Ireland to Cameron. Crouch now. We win the ball back. Rodriguez is there. The counter attack is on. Oliver Burke comes forward. Oliver Burke, that's awful. That's really, really not what we wanted at that moment in time. Cameron with the ball in to Juff. Oh, I mean, if that would have gone in, I would not have been very happy. It does look like this game is going to go to extra time, though, which I would take. That's good. That's good. I mean, I'd take extra time. End of 90 minutes, so it is going to extra time, which means we get another team talk where we really need to drill into the players that they need to give a little bit more now. We're going to have to take Gibbs off. It's not the substitution I really wanted to make, but unfortunately, it's going to have to be the what we go with for now. Chadley gets the ball. Looks like this could be a nothing highlight, to be honest. As Guilherme kicks the ball in Ireland, and yeah, it comes to nothing. Rodriguez really isn't performing well for me today. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to demand more from him. I really want him to push on a little bit. He's not really not showing enough. Jakob with a great tackle there as Oliver Burke wins the header. Livermore. Good ball to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, can he pull it back? He's pulled it to Burke. Burke's put it just over the bar. We're creating, which is good, as Niam and Jakob pick up yellow cards. Not ideal, that. Although we are going to the second half of extra time now. And it's a tough decision. Do we go attacking or do we stay counter and take it to penalties? We could go overload. The question then is, are we risking too much? We're going to risk it. And it goes to penalties anyway. So, not the best penalty takers that we've got here. Dawson going in second. Chadley will go in. I think we'll put Rodriguez there, then Chadley. No, fifth needs to be a good penalty taker. Jakob's got some good composure. Burke scored recently for us. Question is, do we put Chadley taking the penalty? I'm going to put Rodriguez taking the last penalty. And then if we go for Jakob, Niam, Livermore, Foster, and then Johnny Evans, I think. I really hope this pays off. We go into penalties then, as we are going to change the camera. Can we go behind player? No? Okay. Director cam. Can we go director cam? Not helpful. Oh, we do behind goal. Can we do reverse? Yeah. Not. We're gonna have to stick to TV. Wilhelmi steps up, tucks it away in the bottom left corner. Essay now against Foster. Good save by Ben Foster. Ramadan. The new ABBA format, I believe. As Ramadan tucks it in the top corner. Now it's our turn. We've got pressure on us. But if we took 2 away, we can put the pressure on them as Dawson steps up. Good penalty. Nasser Chadley now to put us within inches of the semi-final. Hit the post. Peter Crouch steps up. Hopefully he misses. Good save by Ben Foster. Ben Foster's really been pivotal in this penalty shootout so far for us. Jeff Cameron steps up and Foster saves another one. It's Oliver Burke now. Oliver Burke to send us through to the semi-finals. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but we've got a chance to get to a final here. I don't want to jump the gun just yet, but we scored, we're through, and we're going to a semi-final. I mean, if someone would have told you at 50 minutes that West Brom would come back from that without a striker, with Oliver Burke up top playing as a target man, and he'd score a goal and then the winning penalty, I don't think I would have believed them. Marega didn't really perform in that game, but I mean, that was an awful team talk. Yeah. Not ideal. As Man City do win 1-0 against Swansea, but it does mean that we are through to the semi-finals. And I mean, we've really got sort of a chance now to win something in this season as well, which is something I didn't think that we'd actually. Well, when we drew Liverpool, if you remember, if you watched the was it the first episode, and we drew Liverpool in the cup, and we just lost to them, and we thought that we'd basically just ended our cup run there, and now we're in December and we're in the semi-final. It's a little bit wild, really. As you can see here, though, the stats quite interesting. The way we play, goals scored, second highest in the league. So look at the goals scored. We're second highest in the league, goals scored, just behind Chelsea. But then, if you look at goals conceded, can we do that? Not sure how we can do that. So, if we then look at goals conceded anyway, you can see that we're 20th best, which basically means we're bottom. We've got the worst defence in the league, but the second best attack in the league. Might be something to do with the way we play. But if we can get that 40 million for Johnny Evans from January, definitely will look good for us. So, we'll probably rejoin for, I think the draw's up. Yep, so we'll probably rejoin for the draw in a bit. So then the draw for the Carabao Cup semi-final. As you can see, the 4 teams going into the semi-final: Bolton, Manchester City, West Brom, and West Ham. There's one team that I really don't want to get in the semi-final, and there's one team that I really want to get in the semi-final. You could probably work that one out for yourself. We are drawn first, which means we could get any 3. Please be Bolton. West Ham. So Man City, basically, with an easy route to the final. West Ham, though, they have beat us in the league. But that was early on. If you look at them now, they're in relegation. We are battling for that European spot. And I think we have a good chance of reaching this final. So I'm quite excited about that, to be honest. Anyway, our next game is against Newcastle on the 23rd of December. So the lineup for that is as such. The confirmed lineup for today's game then. Starting in goal, number 1, Ben Foster. The back four for West Brom today: Neom, Evans, Dawson and Gibbs. The midfield: Matt Phillips on the right, Nasser Chadli on the left, with Livermore and Jakob in the centre. And Musa Marega partners Oliver Burke up front. The substitutes for today's game then: Myhill, Brennett, Bielik and Rodriguez. Greg, Guilherme and Higazi make up the other positions. Coming off the back of that good win in the last game then, Oliver Burke retains his role in the side, starting this game as a target man. And we actually swapped Marega to be the advanced forward. I feel like he's got a little bit more strength and pace compared to Rodriguez. Rodriguez isn't as match sharp either, so I think Marega will give Kieran Clark and the Newcastle back line something different to manage compared to Rodriguez. So we're going to go into this game, and I think we're going to say on a good run of form, go out and impress me. Not sure if it's the best thing to say before the match, but I mean, a good run of form around this time as well, and the games are so close at Christmas, really sort of giving us a big boost. A win today would actually see us go up to 6th, I believe. If results stay like this, of course. As Rob Elliott picks the ball up, and apparently we're being overrun in the midfield, which I can probably see. Richie with the ball, and Mitrovic is there. Moreno out. Niam gives away a penalty. Now, I'm not sure if it was a penalty. It did look a little bit like a penalty to me. I'm going to edge on the side of caution for my team and say it wasn't a penalty. Hopefully Foster can replicate. Can't. Okay, well, looks like what we're going to do is go higher, wider, a little bit more direct, hit the early crosses, pump the ball in the box, exploit the flank. As usual. It normally works for us. It did in the last game anyway. It has in the last 6 games. I don't really want to end the unbeaten run just yet, although I'm not sure what's happening there. Although it does look like it could end pretty soon if we continue starting matches like this. As I say that, Jakob wins the ball back in the middle, and Dawson could sort of boot up the field, but no one's there. Elliott with a good kick. Chadley with a good win of the ball there. Marega, lovely through ball to Burke. Burke should have finished that. However, he's not a natural striker, so I will let him off on this occasion. Phillips then with the ball in. Yeah. Sums up how we've played so far, I think. Liam sitting on a 6.1 at right back. A 6 now. A 5.9. Substitutions at half-time look like they could be made here. I think we might bring Brennett in at right back because Richie is really tearing Neom apart at the moment, and a little bit more on that side. Maybe a fresh sort of mind to read what's going on may help us out there. So if we bring Brennett in at right back, and really, now, the question is, do we keep Burke on, or do we bring Rodriguez on? I think Rodriguez now will play better in that role. I think it's going to be a risk, but we took a risk last game and it paid off, and it's something we're going to have to do again here. We're going to go on overload, actually, to try and give Newcastle's defence a bit of a problem as they come forward, and it does look like they're going to score here because we're not picking up men. Luckily, they hit the post. We really have this issue where we can't defend, but we can score. But the trouble is, when we don't have our two top goal scorers in the team, we can't score. So if we can't defend and we can't score, normally means we're going to lose the match in football. It's how it normally works anyway. Nothing from us. Chadley's looking a bit exhausted out there, so we will bring on Guilherme. And I think that's it, to be honest. That's all we can do now. It's going to demand a little bit more from the team. As Livermore does win the ball back, Guilherme, awful ball. Probably a bad substitution, to be honest. And if that substitution leads to a goal, it does, then, I mean, I'm not really at fault, sort of am, because it was an awful substitution. But you've got to blame the player there, not the manager. Sort of back myself up a little bit. This just looks like we've lost this. It's 3-0. Right. Do we close down more? Take more risks? Get stuck in? Yeah. Not a good way to end our unbeaten run, is it? Losing 3-0 to Newcastle. Does actually mean as well that staying ninth. I mean, we're still in touching distance. Does mean Newcastle catch us up a little bit though. Isn't ideal. However, we've scored, so that's, I don't know how many games that is that we've scored in a row, but it's a lot. I'll tell you that. Could the comeback be on? There's a highlight from the kickoff. I mean, we shouldn't really leave it 3 goals and then decide 80th minute. You know what? We've scored now. We could probably come back and give it a go. 10 minutes left, enough time. Although it does look like that's the it did look like that was the idea until we gave the ball away again. Newcastle coming forward. Evans picks the ball up. Gibbs with a good ball over to Rodriguez. He plays it to Marega, and that's awful. Absolutely awful, that. Sorely missing Dembele and Rondon up front today. January transfer window coming up, though, so that's a positive. Does mean that if we sell some of those players for big money, we can bring in some equally good players, if not better, for less. A few targets who are actually on the radar at the moment for us. Not sure if they're willing to join West Brom. But hopefully, I was going to say, due to our recent form, we look like an attractive prospect. But Newcastle are thrashing us 4-1. And we don't seem to care. It could be 5-1. As they come forward again. We do win the ball back. And we give it away. And we win it back. And we come forward. And we're going to score. No, we hit the bar. Okay, so it seems if we go 3 goals down, that's when the sort of we get it kicked into us. Maybe we should start doing something now. Probably need to change that. But it's really not good enough. I mean, that was when we sort of went on overload. It didn't pay off. But Matt Ritchie and Liam apart on that right side. And we were pretty awful, to be honest. We missed having a goal scorer up front. And that's not the way I wanted to end the episode. Considering what a good game we had before. You know, that was a good run we went on there. Ruined now. We got to play Stoke again. They're above us in the league. Which means we could lose that. And then we go on to play all the big teams again. So, it's not looking ideal. However, like I said, January transfer window is coming up. If we can bring a few good quality players in by then, we are getting offers. You'll see more about that next episode. Next episode, when do we want to come back for is the question. I think probably a good time to come back. Chef Wednesday, West Ham, right? You know, two cup games, FA Cup third round, first leg semi-final, and then we could do a West Ham Arsenal double. Seems like that's going to be the plan. That is going to be the plan. And that's going to be it from me today. If you did enjoy this, please leave a like. Please leave a comment down below, or any suggestions of who you think we should buy in January. In fact, I tell you what, leave me some suggestions of what we should do when we don't turn up. How should we play? Because that obviously didn't work for us that time. We may have got a little bit lucky here. That didn't work, but we really need sort of another thing. Maybe the players we bring in will make us adapt our tactics a little bit. But like I said, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, leave a like. And don't really know how to end this one.